Hey everybody, it's Dave, and I am a firm believer in maintaining all your vehicles, especially things like oil changes, whether it's your motorhome, your car, your truck, motorcycle, boat, or in this case an ATV. And we've had this for a few years now. This is a 2017 Polaris RZR Trail Model 900, and you can get the oil change kits on Amazon for about $48–50, and they come in a bag. And then when you get your bag, everything you need to change oil is going to be in the bag. So you got your oil, have your couple should be about 2.5 quarts of oil. I believe it's synthetic oil, and your filter. There it is. There's your Polaris oil filter right there. So you got everything you need in the kit, which is nice. And then you're going to need some other tools to have handy so that this makes it fast. The total time for this oil change, probably half an hour. A couple of tools you're going to want is a small socket wrench. You want an oil filter wrench. It's an F cap, and I'll put links to Amazon so you can find these on Amazon. This is an oil filter F cap wrench, and then just it'll fit your socket wrench in there, and you can take your oil filter off. I always like to have a little extension handy too, so that you can get in there and it makes it easier to change that. So a little short 3-inch extension. Alright, the other things you might want to have handy are some shop towels, and you can buy these anywhere, Fry's, Costco, or on Amazon. It's just nice to have a bunch of these handy so you can sop up some of the oil. And then I always like to have the little latex gloves. This is a box of about, I'm going to say there's probably about 500 of those in here, and I use these all around the motorhome and when we're doing different things around the house. I use these to dump the black and gray tanks, and so they're just handy to have. Or the latex gloves. I even like to keep and hang on to some of the air filters, just in case I want to change one. If it's bad and really dirty, I'll clean them out with an air compressor and blow everything out and just reuse them. But you do want to change these and check them often, because if you're out in the dirt and dust, boy, these things get filled up fast. So just make sure you keep your air filters always clean and check them. And of course, it's always important to have a drink handy. It's probably about 80 degrees right now, so it's starting to warm up. So before you get started, I took all the access panels off the engine in the back. I took the seats out. There's another little small access panel you take out between the seats and just remove it. I let it warm up for 2 minutes, and then I shut it off so the oil's nice and warm, and I'll let it drain out in just a minute. Let's get to it. Alright, when I start getting ready to do an oil change on my RZR, first thing I do is I take out the front 2 seats, and those are easy by just reaching in behind them, and there's a little clip. You pull on the little clip and the seats come out forward, and I usually set them off to the side somewhere. Then while I'm doing that, I'll take the little cover off here, so my access cover, so I can get to the filter, which is right inside there. And I usually do this ahead of time, so I'm all ready for it. The next thing I do is I take off the access panel on the engine and also set it off to the side somewhere, so that you just have that open there. Your filter is going to be in here. So another thing you might want to change is put a new filter on, check it, see if it's good. And before you change the oil, start it up and let it run for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes or so. You want to get the engine temperature up a little bit, so that all the oil drains out of the engine is nice and warmed up, so that it'll drain faster out of your engine. So right now it tells me my engine temperature is about 91, so I'll probably shut it off when it gets to about 120. Alright, first thing I did is I put my oil drain pan underneath the RZR, and because the RZR is pretty high already, I really don't need to jack it up in the back. You just want to make sure you have this is a 6mm socket Allen wrench. And so you'll need one of these to get into the oil drain plug. So you use this on a socket wrench, and it'll get up inside to open up the oil drain plug on the bottom. All right, before I start draining the oil down below, I want to take off the oil cap above and just set it off to the side. And then when I'm draining the oil, this will allow for the oil to drain all the way through. And they say that you want to let it drain for about 15 minutes. So I'm going to let it do that in just a minute. Once I undo the plug underneath with the 6mm Allen wrench, then I'll just let it drain for about 10-15 minutes. All right. Now I'm just going to do this. I loosened it up with the socket wrench. And so I'm just going to reach under here, see if you can see this. And I'm just going to take off the oil drain plug with my hands, because there's a little washer on there that you don't want to lose. Once it seems to be getting loose, once it gets loose, you'll see oil start to drain out. There it comes. There it goes into the pan. I don't know if you can see it on the video there, but there's a little washer. You don't want to lose that. All right, so just let it drain for about 10 minutes. Set this little plug off to the side somewhere. But like I said, you want to keep a lot of these shop towels handy. They're really nice to have handy. But here's the little washer that I was talking about. That's what you don't want to lose on the oil plug, is that little washer. Now, if it starts to look worn and ragged looking, then you could probably get a new one, but this one's pretty good. So, shop towels, really handy. Don't want to get everything dirty. All right, I got the old filter off. It's down there next to the box and everything. Eventually everything's going to go in the box and then into the trash. But what I do is, before I put the new filter on, I'm going to pour a little oil into it. I'm going to pour a little bit of oil into the filter from the new oil, and then I'm going to take some of that new oil and I'm going to rub around the seal, the gasket here. You want to lubricate that gasket real nicely before you put it on. Now, you don't need to fill it up completely full, but I do like to put a little bit in it, so I'm going to do that right now. All right, so I got the new oil filter in there. Put it on by hand, and I grabbed a shop towel and just tightened it by hand. And then I'm going to take the oil filter wrench in a second, just tighten it about says on the manual, it said about 3/4 of a turn to tighten it up. So just get it on there, tighten it up about 3/4 of a turn until it's tight, and you're good to go. So I put the oil plug back in, tightened it up and torqued it. It's good. And I got the oil filter on and it's tight, so now I'm ready to put the oil in. And it says that it takes about 2.5, and I think when they send you these kits, it comes with exactly 2.5 quarts, PS4. So I'm going to dump all that in there and fill it up, and then I'm going to check it for any leaks. So here it goes. All right, all finished with the oil change. The next thing I want to do is just start it up and let it run for a minute. Make sure I don't have any leaks. And then I'll put everything back when we're done. Ah, yes. So they say let it run for about a minute or two and just go underneath and check and make sure you have no leaks. And then I'll get all the seats back in and it'll be ready to go. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you enjoyed this video on how to change an oil on a 900 RZR 2017 900 RZR Trail model. But a lot of the RZRs, 1000s, 900s, it'll be very similar. You can buy the kits on Amazon. I'll put links in the description below. Hope you enjoyed this. Bye.